the money bubble has burst, and 747 players are now guaranteed at least $19,000 as they continue their quest towards the first place prize of $8.9 million and the title of 2010 WSOP Main Event Champion.
I got a feeling, ooh, that tonight's gonna be a good night.
Hot on the heels of a fantastic series so far for Robert and Michael Mizrachi, including their final table success in the 50k Players Championship, all four Mizrachi brothers, Robert, Michael, Eric and Danny, managed to make the money in this year's main event. But let's get down to business. Here are the top 10 and chips going into day 5. Notables who made some moves up the leaderboard before end of play on day 4 were Theo Jorgensen, Phil Galfond, Adam Levy, Jesper Hugard, Praz Banzi, Scotty Wynn and Tony Dunst, who we spoke to just before end of play last night. Tony, you just can't seem to lose that hand the past few days I've been watching you play. What's going on with you?
I mean, honestly, I'm not even hitting huge hands or flopping sets or finding big pairs pre-flop or anything like that. It just seems like every time I get to a flop, though, with whatever I have, I'm connecting pretty well, and my opponents are either connecting fairly well but slightly worse, or they're trying to bluff me in spots where I'm just not going to fold, and I keep getting chips that way.
Okay, anything interesting happened today, though? Because I know you're in the top 10 right now.
Yes.
You're in the minute mark.
Yeah, I actually had 2 back-to-back hands, which turned out to be pretty interesting. We had a hand where the button raised, I guess what was a pocket nines, and I called with ace-10 offsuit with the ace of diamonds in the big blind, and the flop came ace of spades, 10 of diamonds, 9 of diamonds. I checked, he bet, I raised him, he called. The turn was a offsuit 5, like a 5 of hearts. I bet and he called. The river was a 6 of diamonds, and he had about, 40% pot left, and I had the ace of diamonds, so I really didn't believe he had the flush. So I thought I had the best hand almost always, and I moved in for value, and he tanked forever, and he folded, and he later said, and I really feel like the vibe this guy was giving me, he wasn't lying, that he folded a set of 9s, which is like mind-blowing, that I was, I thought I was shoving with the best hand, and I was bluffing, apparently. And the very next hand, I had about 550,000, and the European gentleman on my left had maybe about a million, 1.1, and it folded to me in the small blind, and I made it 13.5k with king 10 offsuit, and he called, and the flop was 10 of diamonds, 6 of diamonds, 2 of spades, and I bet 18, and he made it 41. I called, and the turn was a 3, like a 3 of clubs. I checked, he bet 100k, and I thought he very probably was either doing this with some form of flush draw, some kind of bluff, or there's almost no 2 pairs in his range, and I guess potentially he could have a set, but that's about it that beats me, unless he flatted something like aces or queens pre-flop. I called with the intention of calling on a lot of rivers, and the river was a king of clubs, just in case. And I checked, and he went all in for about 400,000. I checked my cards quick. I was like, yep, I call. And the second I said that, his whole body language just collapsed on him. And that's really where I got all my chips today.
Okay. Well, you must be pretty comfortable, but it has been a tantalizing few hours for a lot of people with the bubble bursting. What was play like during those few hours?
Extremely stop-start, really boring in my opinion. I don't know how many hands we got in, but it wasn't a lot. And I don't know, I always feel so bad for whoever the bubble boy is, and everyone crowds around his table, and it's like, yeah, bust that guy, get him, come on. And I'm just like, man, if I was that, and I've been that guy in a large live tournament before, and I'm just like, just go back to your table. So I'm always the guy who just stays right in his seat and listens to his iPod, and it's just kind of, I don't wear a watch, but if I did, I'd be looking at it and being like, how long is this going to take?
Players will ready their poker faces and return in just a few hours for day 5 as we continue the hunt for the main event champion 2010.